We have to recognize that our students that are American will live in a world in which their nationality means less and less. And maybe for many of their students, their nationality will mean less and less. But those of us that were Americans, who are Americans, were born into a world in which being born American let you assume all sorts of privileges. And one of those privileges is that we didn't have to learn very much about the rest of the world if we didn't want to. We didn't have to learn another language or learn more than one. We didn't often watch movies produced in other countries or TV news that had been made by somebody else's newscasters. We didn't send our children to be educated in places that we had never been to. Almost no educated person in Europe or in South America or in Africa or in Asia has the privilege of ignoring the rest of the world or speaking only one language. Many of them, as we know, they send their children overseas to school in the United States or in Australia or in Britain, not because they want them to become American or Australian or British, but because they want them to become able to function in the world that they'll live in. Being American will not very much longer, I think, confer the privilege of ignorance. It won't necessarily confer the privilege of being richer than everyone else either. And I think that's not a bad thing, if we actually think that what that means is that other people don't have to be so poor. Things are changing really fast, and if you listen to the news in this country, even the most sensible news, even if you avoid the really insane news, it sounds to me as if most Americans feel very threatened by that change. There's a lot of fear out there about America not being the top dog, about competition from other countries. And when I listen to this, it sounds to me like eating a really good meal in the KDU at one table and being worried that maybe people at the other tables will also have enough to eat. It just sounds crazy to me. There's really very little evidence that if other people live better, we will live worse. But that's what they're hearing, even on the most intelligent news. If we want our students to be problem solvers and to make the world a better place than it is, they have to have hope that that's possible. And they have to not fear the future. They have to not buy into that. We have to consciously refuse to let our school buy into the idea that things are hopeless and unfixable, or that we have to fear success of other people in other parts of the world. You know, when we built the field house, one of the strongest arguments for making it net zero was that that made it a very tangible symbol of hope environmentally, that there are solutions to environmental problems and that we can find them. And there are similar reasons, I think, for us to teach our kids hope in other ways. Sure, there are lots of problems out there. There are plenty of things that we worry about and we ought to worry about, but there's an awful lot of good things happening in the world, and we shouldn't be afraid of it.